Hello, everybody! It's me, Carmine DiStefano, the Bookman. I love a good underdog movie. A movie where the hero rises above all the obstacles put against him or her, does the impossible. This is not one of those movies. In 1973, there was a 3-year-old thoroughbred horse that was so dominant it was voted one of the top 50 athletes of all time. 30th, actually. So in 2010, Disney Pictures decided to put some magic in the real tale in a little movie called Secretariat. Is the story as certain as the horse? Well, let's take a look at it together, shall we? Movie opens in Denver in 1969, obviously. There we meet Penny Chenery, played by Diane Lane. And answer. Yes, I would. She seems to be the quintessential housewife, with kids and everything. Now, why am I having trouble seeing her in that role? Oh yeah. She then takes her family back to her old farm, as her mother died, you see. She leaves behind a depressing scene, a husband, and some assets. She meets with her brother, played by Dr. Connors.
We need a file right away for his power of attorney. Miss Ham says he tried to sell 4 of his best horses last month for half of what they're worth.
Man, are you always such a tight ass? She was left behind horses that need training to race. So she calls upon Lucine Levine, played by John Malkovich.
Well, that's why I've come to see you, Mr. Lauren.
Miss, you're not hearing me. A trainer makes his living off commissions, 10% off sales, 10% off winners. To get a top trainer, you need a top horse.
So you show me some goddamn respect!
Okay. Still, there are 2 soon-to-be horses up for grabs. The ownership is decided by a coin toss between she and Ogden Phipps. In the end, he wins and selects the other horse you don't really know much about. Penny gets...
Ever seen her?
Nope, not me.
What?
The colt stand up that fast.
Miss bête totale.
Yes, this horse is a marvel, even from birth. We then see, I tag her. We then see their first choice of jockey to race Big Red or Secretariat at 2 years old. The first race of the dominant horse goes...
Wasn't exactly what I had in mind.
But you said he was ready to race.
Not as well as they thought. They need to search for a new jockey, so they employ the feisty little Ron Turcate, who looks a lot like another paisan I'm sure you're familiar with. This tough little bastard races with Secretariat. He rides this massive, majestic beast through the competition into the winner's circle.
Your admiration is well-founded, but I am merely a servant. Do not worship me!
Not too long afterwards, Penny is called home. Her father now has died. Again, she meets with...
Are the children all right?
Oh, they're fine. I left Denver before I heard the news. Hollis had asked me to study the tax issues that would arise upon your father's death.
Issues that now find us totally unprepared.
Always straight to business, Morpheus?
Not wanting to sell her farm or that wonderful horse, Penny takes an alternate route, begging for sponsorship. She finally gets a biter, Ogden Phipps, of course. Oh, the irony. She tries to move him with her charms.
It's not foolish to be unlucky, Mr. Phipps. Most men, if they'd chosen wrong and lost this horse, wouldn't think of investing in him again. But you're bigger than that. And if you do invest in him, Instead of being the man who lost the Secretariat in the past, he'll be the one who had the vision to lead investors in his future.
His future is uncertain. And I don't buy shares in untested 3-year-olds.
Well, she still has shit. She'll race the horse to prove his value. Unfortunately, Secretariat barely loses in a preliminary race to the horse called Sham. This horse is owned by...
Didn't appear to be himself. Is that journalism-ese for getting your butt whipped?
this guy. He talks his trash prior to the Kentucky Derby, the first of the Triple Crown races. With Secretariat, they're somewhat uncertain of how he'll perform, so Penny does this.
All right, then. I'll see you in the morning. All right.
Will her methods gear up the horse? You bet your sweet ass they do! Secretariat ends up coming from behind to win by a couple of lengths. He then moves on to win the Preakness. Even so...
Well,
Let me tell you something about all this talk about Super Horse. Sham broke the Derby record, too. He ran the second fastest Derby. He ran the second fastest Preakness ever. We were right there with the red horse every step of the way. And now we're getting ready to run the longest of the Triple Crown races. When we're done, you'll be calling Sham the Super Horse.
He's still talking. Now it's time for the Belmont Stakes, the last of the Triple Crown races. On the longest track of the three, Sham seems to have a chance. I'd nail her. Secretariat should have trouble on the expanded muddy field. That's what we're led to believe. Sham should win, right?
Throwing away down the backstretch. Sham pressing Secretariat even faster.
Ooh, it's close. Neck and neck. Nose to nose! Until now. Yes, basically it becomes a one-horse race, as Secretariat wins by about 1 billion horse lengths or so, taking home the Triple Crown in the most ridiculously one-sided affair of all time. It was an absolute joke in real life. We then get history with some photos of the actual people and animals that were involved in the scenario. And that's pretty much it. So what did I think of this movie? If you ask me, you can never get enough horse racing movies. It was true, more or less, and still made entertaining. Everyone was believable in their roles. I do have to say, though, that Diane Lane is a tad more extraordinarily gorgeous than the real Penny, no offense, but still everyone did well in performing their parts. I did love hearing about this dynamic horse, seeing what went into his amazing career behind the scenes, that is. I'm a huge race fan, even to this day, despite all the controversy that goes with it and how people call it a joke. This movie really brought drama into what I thought was pretty much a one-sided affair. Yes, this was a once-in-a-lifetime horse, but there was more to his background than I really originally thought. What this film did as well was prove that Disney can still make good movies, even with all that has happened with their young celebrities that I may have mentioned every once in a while or here and there, or maybe once or twice. They could still turn up a good showing that's fit for all audiences. Children, adults, old people, babies, whatever. I like how in this movie they mentioned the horse known as the second greatest horse of all time, that being Sham, who is the only true competitor with Secretariat. Usually when it comes to one great horse, the one great horse is by his or herself. In this case, Sham was right there. It's just that Secretariat was extraordinarily dominant. It's kind of like what Barbaro was to Bernardino, Bernardino won 2 of the last 3 races, Barbara won the first, then physically broke down. Of course, that was a little bit more tragic than this, being that Sham was just not as good as Secretariat, though still great in its own right. Overall, this movie represented the horse very well. In fact, it inspires you to watch the real races Secretariat had. If you get a chance, check them out. They're actually pretty funny. I thank you all for watching. I have more for you soon to come, so stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.
Oh, straight to business, huh, Morpheus?